Welcome to another edition of Coach's Corner, brought to you by Bubba's Bar and Grill. This week we'll be taking a look at what Boa's head football coach Paul Cohen had to say after his team's recent semifinal victory over Hanover.
Well, this is history in the making. 14 years ago, we played Hanover, not on this field, but up here. We lost 28-0. That was the first Bo team to ever play in football playoffs. So the seeds were sown, as it were, then, and over the past 14 years, we've had multiple playoff teams, 2 state championship teams, but this team is very different than any of those teams. They have a certain chemistry about them. They have been able to stay hungry, as it were, to quote Gladiator, lean and hungry, where they have not just succumbed to being marveled at the fact that they're in postseason. They come to practice every week with a very journeyman, workman-like attitude, and it's shown. It's been interesting for me to have run a balancing act in that they are adolescent athletes and they are obviously very pleased, as they should be, and proud of their accomplishments, but still keep them focused enough to do the job at hand. And today I said to them when the game ended, I said, you know, you certainly made your parents' money spent worthwhile, because this was a very exciting game, just like last week's playoff game. And we would obviously expect pretty much the same thing next week in championship. Nate Alford, number 14, without a doubt. I mean, he is the top player on my team. He's a force on both sides of the ball. Anything I ask him to do, he does. He can run the ball, he can block, he can catch, he can play linebacker, he can play defensive end. My secondary, Matt Kimball, Matt Scanlon, all those guys did some great jobs breaking up passes today. The D-line and offensive line, all of them. All the hogs and all the water buffaloes, as we called them, they were able to fight the war in the trenches. My offensive line coach said before the game started that, you know, this is in the trenches, baby. This is where it's going to be won or lost. And that's a cliche. Probably every single football coach at every single level says that on Saturdays and Fridays and Sundays, but truly, the fact that they had a line that was significantly bigger than mine per person, we were still able to handle them. Yes, we bent, but we didn't break. And at the end of the day, we end up with the W and we're on top.
We asked Coach Cohen if some weight's been lifted now that his team's in the finals, or if it feels like his team still needs to fight.
I'd say a little bit of both. My goal was to get us a winning season and then get into the playoffs, and here we are. The next goal, obviously, was to get into the championship, which we made that today, fortunately. And then, obviously, it will be to win the whole thing next week. So in that regard, a little bit of weight shifts off, but now, obviously, this is the premier event. This is the event in the state for our division, and we're pleased as punch that we can represent the town of Bo and the Bo School District to do as best as we can. We know that we have our work cut out for us. Whoever we're going to play, I don't know yet, but regardless, we'll be ready.
We also asked Coach if he felt the rest of the league overlooked the Falcons as legitimate Division II contenders.
Absolutely. I've said that to the team over and over again, that nobody really thought you guys would amount to much. Nobody knew what to expect. Little town of Bo coming into Division II with so many bigger schools. But as the season wore on, we won our first 3 games, and nobody really gave us much respect. Then we lost to Plymouth, and everybody kind of said, oh, okay, see, that's where you belong. And this team, and as a collective program, we said, no, that's not where we belong. We kept on winning. We got into the playoffs. Nobody gave us respect, and now we've eclipsed 2 of the 3 teams that we have to deal with to earn a championship title. So I think this has been, in our inaugural year, it's certainly memorable. It's the 20th year of Bo football. And these seniors will always carry that with them. Whatever happens next week, they've had one serious run, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Bo will take on Plymouth, a team they lost to earlier in the year in the NHIAA Division II Championship at UNH this weekend.